I'm struggling a lot today, seeing all these videos of hate going around with this mass deportation. And it hurts my heart because, you voted for who you voted for.
More and more videos like this are being posted in the last couple of weeks, and the comment sections are out of control. Like, what is with people being so unbelievably rude and heartless and cold? Like, oh, just go get another job. Welcome to the real world.
Latinos for Trump. Bring you on my docket today. Y'all are the definition of political pick me's.
You were what, Snowfie? Surprised that you voted for a red flag and now you're not having any fun at the carnival? Well,
what's going on. Please, I don't want to hear the negative stuff. I don't want to hear it.
When she says she doesn't want to hear the negative stuff, what she doesn't want to hear is the I told you so. She doesn't want to hear you voted for this.
Hi, this is just my monthly video to remind all the anti-Kamala, never Kamala, don't vote for Kamala, vote for Jill Stein, vote for Trump if you have to. People, I hate you. And I do blame you. Forever. I don't care how much you're like, no matter if all of us voted for her, she's...
I've been getting some comments calling me divisive, saying, right now's not the time for finger pointing. We need to work with Latinos for Trump. Latinos for Trump already divided us when they walked into that voting booth on November 5th and made a conscious decision to sell out their family, to sell out their friends, and to sell out their entire community as a whole to ICE. And for what exactly? A pat on the head from the whites for white proximity? Hey fam, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing great and God has protected you and preserved you very well. And to you that continuously give support to me on here, I do appreciate you, and to my members, I do appreciate you as well. And as always, we do have another interesting episode to look and react on. Now, I found a few clips of MAGA supporters that were, in tears because apparently they're receiving a lot of hate for what they did. And yet this is time for people to console them. And that started from a federal worker that was fired, and she said, she doesn't want any negativity, to a Latino that was saying, this has got to stop. And she's like, the hate is too much. You guys don't have any empathy. You guys don't feel any pain for us. And people are like, you caused us to be in this state and you want us to feel bad. Anywho, we are going to look at these clips. There are those people that are saying, you know what, the hate has got to stop. We, feel you. And then there are those that are saying, no, we are not about to stop making you feel bad for your decisions that you made.
I'm struggling a lot today, seeing all these videos of the hate going around with this mass deportation. And it hurts my heart because, you voted for who you voted for. But why so much hate? Like, how can you mock the kids that are losing their parents, or the parents that are losing their kids, living in constant fear for what may happen to your friends and your families, and even people that you see on social media. It hurts. It hurts. Because why is there so much hate? Why do you have to be this way?
Latinos for Trump. Bring your ass, you bitches on my docket today. Y'all are the definition of political pick me's. You're so eager, like ready, willing, and fucking able to go from one dictator to the fucking next. Now, I know y'all not systematically accustomed to freedom, but trust me, it's a good thing. Now, when it comes to you white presenting Cubans, I can understand, whether it be you naturally look that way or, you got the work done. I can understand your delusion in terms of, having proximity to whiteness and thinking that you're going to get a seat at the table. And while you may get a seat, It is with the expressed understanding that the moment you act familiar, them envelopians gonna put you in your place quick, fast, and in a motherfucking hurry by letting you know that you're simply a guest. But again, you look the part, so I can understand. But it's you Celia Cruz looking motherfuckers that blow me. Have you niggas looked in a fucking mirror? Like, let's keep it a fucking Goya bean in this bitch. The closest you're getting to a seat at the table is looking at that motherfucker through the window while you cutting the grass. Like, it is what the fuck it is. But since y'all think y'all got it like that, let's try a little experiment. When ICE roll up to collect you niggas, Elian Gonzalez style, I want you to look them square in the face. And I want you to say these 5 words to them. I know black eye Cuban. And let me know how the fuck it goes. Send me a postcard with Fidel on the fucking front. And when they send you back home, I hope you can't take shit with you but your fucking MAGA merch. As a permanent reminder that the president you voted for is the same president that sent you fucking packing. For decades, we've been trying to give y'all a wake-up call. I bet now you niggas wish you would have picked up the phone.
What was it like for you when you got the news that you were being let go?
It was really hard.
You were what, Snowfie? Surprised that you voted for a red flag and now you're not having any fun at the carnival? Well, so unemployed Barbie here voted for Trump and has since been fired from her federal job. Now she's talking about I feel bad, I regret my vote. But you didn't feel bad voting for someone who was endorsed by the KKK before it started to affect you, right? Exactly. Y'all happily skipped into them voting booths, probably on the 1 and 3 beat, to vote for that man because you never thought it would affect you. Mind you, I am willing to bet that this woman was a DEI hire. Like, I just know she thought she was safe. She thought the person of color down the hall was a DEI hire whole time. They done kicked her out faster than Jenny could ever run up and down the block. I'm gonna hold your hand with an napkin in between when I say this. In the club, y'all are not all Mind you, she's talking about I voted for Trump because I want to be a mother. How was you the other side of the pillow? At this point, the last 2 brain cells aren't even fighting for 10th place. There are just concepts of brain cells because you cannot convince me that that was your logic behind voting for Trump. You fucked around and put your trust in the 34-time convicted, well-documented lying white man over the overly qualified black woman, and now you're surprised you're finding out that shit isn't going well for you? Let me add a second napkin in between when I tell you this. I hope you get everything you voted for. Hope this helps. Peace and love.
I lost my job on Thursday night, along with 200,000 other people. Despite what most people think, we're not all just lazy government employees. I worked really, really hard. I've been there 8 years. My managers had no idea until I did that I was terminated. They fell to their knees and cried along right with me. I took an oath of office to fight for this administration. And although I don't agree what's happening or what's going on, please, I don't want to hear the negative stuff. I don't want to hear it.
When she says she doesn't want to hear the negative stuff, what she doesn't want to hear is the I told you so. She doesn't want to hear you voted for this. She doesn't want to hear any of that. She doesn't want to hear that all of the information was available to her to make a better decision in who she chooses to vote for. Yet and still, she went into the voting booth and voted against her own interests. And if she is a person that reflects upon their actions, she would have to sit with, yeah, all of the information was out there. So why did I really choose to vote for Donald Trump? She would have to sit with that. You voted for Donald Trump because of his hate, his division, and his racism. You thought, and all that he was putting out there, he put out all of the buzzwords. He brought to the forefront all that she hates. Black people, brown people, trans people, all of that he brought to the forefront. And she thought that when he got into office, that it would be those people who would suffer underneath Donald Trump policies. That's what she thought. Whether she knows it or not, that's what she thought. And so she doesn't want to hear any of the negative stuff, because then she might reflect and realize how much of a bad person she really is and why she chose to vote for Donald Trump. She doesn't want to hear any of the bad stuff so much that she has turned off all of her comments on all of her videos. She's even taken that video down and she put this in its place. Enough hate. Threatening my family's life has gone beyond constructive criticism. People assumed based on other people's comments something that was never said. We are all humans and all deserve to be treated as such. Humankind be both. First, I want to say that I don't agree with her having to deal with death threats against herself or her family. I don't support that at all. I believe we can debate, we can hold people accountable without threatening them or their families' lives. But she went into the voting booth and voted for a man that talked down upon black and brown people, supported a man that spoke at one of his rallies who said Puerto Rico was a floating island of garbage, supported a man that talked about bloody mass deportations, and that was aimed at brown people, Hispanic people, said that black and brown people were poisoning the blood of this country. That's who she voted for. But now we are all humans and all deserve to be treated as such. When she voted for a man that treats black and brown people as inhumanely as possible. Child, I can't.
Okay, I'm just going to say something that needs to be said among Latinos, among the Latino community, especially among Chicano community, Mexican Americans, Latino Americans, okay? If it wasn't for Black culture, Black people, Black communities, Black leaders, Black artists, Black music, all of it, if it wasn't for that, we would have an entirely different experience in the United States. Here's the difference between Black folks and Latino folks. The Black people in America, their ancestors fought for the rights that we all get to fucking enjoy right now. So many Latinos act like white folks just decided to give Latinos rights, just decided to let Latinos vote, just decided to put laws in place so that you could buy property. If it wasn't for Black leaders, Latinos wouldn't even be able to bring their kids to a public school. We have a lot of the privileges that we have today because of the Civil Rights Act, because of the Fair Housing Act, because of Voting Rights Act, which for those of you Latinos who voted for Trump, you're welcome. If you are Latino, you better recognize the gift that we were just handed from Black people. So it actually makes sense that more Latinos voted for this president because you didn't have to work for the rights that you were just handed. And don't worry, I will be talking about immigration too, but for right now, I just want to give Black people their flowers. I want to give Black artists their flowers. I want to give Black culture their flowers, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be who I am. Hi, this is just my monthly video to remind all the anti-Kamala, never Kamala, don't vote for Kamala, vote for Jill Stein, vote for Trump if you have to. People, I hate you. And I do blame you. Forever. I don't care how much you're like, no matter if all of us voted for her, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You don't know that, because not only the already ones was going to vote for them, I've seen video evidence of people actively changing someone's mind. Someone like, you know what, I wasn't going to vote, but you know what, you're right, I will vote for Trump. So every month for the next 4 years, I will get on here and tell you how much I hate you. I hate your fucking guts, honestly. I do. I do. I do. And I really don't even like to use that word. And I hope you have the worst 4 years of your life.
I've been getting some comments calling me divisive, saying, right now's not the time for finger pointing. We need to work with Latinos for Trump. Latinos for Trump already divided us when they walked into that voting booth on November 5th and made a conscious decision to sell out their family, to sell out their friends, and to sell out their entire community as a whole to ICE. And for what exactly? A pat on the head from the whites? For white proximity? For white validation? I am not the one causing the division, so don't come here and try to gaslight me. I voted to keep their families safe. I'm not the one who voted to have ICE raids on their families. Latinos for Trump are the ones who voted to have ICE raids on their own families and their own friends and their own community. A majority of Latinos foolishly gave your votes to Trump. And how did Trump thank y'all? By making it his very top priority on day one to deport as many of you, as many of us, as he possibly can. He said, get the fuck out. It doesn't matter if you're illegal or not. It doesn't matter if you're a criminal or not. He wants you out because you're not white. Latinos don't even like themselves. That is the real problem here. Centuries of colonization have ingrained deep self-hatred, passed down through generations as internalized racism. We've been conditioned to believe that assimilation equals survival, that belonging to white society means erasing our culture, our language, and our history. And today, far too many Latinos are still pathetically desperate for white acceptance. They will do anything to prove themselves worthy of white proximity. They will sell themselves out. They will sell out their families. They will sell out their children. And they will sell out their entire community. They will stab themselves in the back. They will stab the Black community and every other marginalized group they should be standing beside in the back, just to beg for crumbs from a table that they will never be invited to sit at. And these very Latinos, they're the reason we as people will never make real progress, because every time we move forward, they sabotage it, destroying any progress that we fight for, even at the expense of their own families and their own communities. And now we're watching the consequences of their betrayal play out in real time. ICE raids, tearing apart their own neighborhoods, and the very democracy of this country hanging by a thread. They most definitely helped do this. They helped the very machine that's now coming to destroy them. And I am beyond pissed.
So why when Latinos come together, they only help each other, but when Black people come together and create programs, it's always for Black and Latinos? This comment here was left underneath that video. I had actually addressed Afro-Latinos in my video, but a friend of mine called me and it muted the video, which I didn't realize, so I had to cut it out later. Anyways, as someone who works with a lot of Afro-Latinos, let me tell you that whenever I ask them about all of these kind of programs, the majority of them have told me that as Afro-Latinos, they feel safer and more welcome and more included when it comes to Black programs that are, again, designed for Black and Brown or Black and Latinos or whatever they're called, than they feel when they go to Latino founder communities. Which totally makes sense considering how colorist our community is. And that's exactly a reason why it's important to build intersectionally safe spaces and not safe spaces or support groups or whatever they call themselves that are by design othering the very group that they're saying they're supporting.
It's time to speak up. This message is for anyone who ever voted for Donald Trump. I grew up in a Republican county in a Republican state. And so I understand what we've been told over and over. And I understand why some of you voted for him. I do. I didn't agree and I didn't vote for him, but I can understand how you got there. But I want you to know that any of you who are now realizing this isn't what you wanted, he lied to you. Any of you who are now feeling like you regret that mistake, I promise you, I will never say, I told you so. Not ever. I will run to you with open arms and say, welcome home, because the hate has to stop somewhere. And it stops with me. It stops with me. Come home. Come back to the rest of your American family. There will be some, like the cranky old relatives, who are going to talk like that to you, but it won't be me. And you have a place here. Come home and join us. Help us save our country. Go love your neighbor.
I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section about this very episode. This is the, the aftermath of fuck around and then people are finding out, right? And lots of people are like, you don't want us to talk about the consequences of your actions. You don't want us to make you feel bad for what you did. Because it looks like majority of these people really jeopardized the entire situation for everybody, messed everything for everybody. Hate is such a powerful emotion and it has the capacity and ability to divide and literally affect everyone, especially if people choose to react with their emotions. And I think majority of the MAGAs that supported this voted not just because they wanted him to do things better. Of course, majority of the things that they give us points of why they voted for him are rooted in self-centeredness. It's all about them. And with self-centeredness, that means there's something that you resent so bad. And I think there's also that hate that some of these people had for the immigrants and people they think were taking advantage of their country. And yeah, so that went that way. But I think away from just the hate that people had, that they actually expressed so freely with voting, but then now are afraid of the backlash and they feel bad and they're crying because of the backlash they are getting. Again, it looks like to these people, nobody else really matters. No, I understand that, of course, there's always going to be division, but the level of division that this man was driving, the anti-agendas of different groups of people, anti-Asian, anti-Black, Mexicans, anti-Hispanics, and all of that, it really grouped people into it separated people into different groups. And now with everything that is happening with executive order he signs, with each and every other deportation, with each and every federal funding is cutting, with each and every other federal worker that loses their job, literally there's a group that is like, yes, that's great because you thought you're gonna vote for him and then he's gonna make things better for you. Now you're feeling it. So that's why some people are like, we are not going to stop. And then on the other hand, the thing is, it's not going to be only the people that voted for him. Now, I do know that more people would be like, we have been in this for the longest and we know. But either way, everybody is still going to be able to feel it. So I think I do understand where each group comes from. It's not good to mock people that are going through stuff, but I don't think that some people are coming from a place of mocking you, but rather holding you accountable. And to be honest, majority of the MAGAs really don't want to be held accountable. They run away from conversations that bring them on the table to give an accountability of what they did. And unfortunately, part of their decision is affecting the whole country. It's not going to give any exception to anybody. So I think in times like this, people's frustrations come out the more because of either the sentiments that some of these people had. So the frustration, in moments like this, everyone is looking for someone to blame, right? And that's why I don't think it is even about to come to an end. But I think one thing I must really, really say is you cannot look forward to coming on social media and expect to be renewed or receive empathy. Yeah. Social media gives people power to say things they would not be able to do to your face, just like what happened during the election. Some people had the nerves to do things they would not probably do to people's faces, right? So, yeah, you do have a lot of people that are going through a lot because, of course, of the results of what is happening. So they are going through a lot, and the only way they can express and take this burden off their shoulders is telling you what you need to hear, even if it is so hard for you to hear it. And then there are these other groups of people that think, let me watch and see if people would feel the same pain that we feel now. You might not be able to get it. It might be a bit difficult. So that's why I always say, never rely on social media to get comfort and sympathy. Sometimes, especially with the current events and reaction and the reaction world and everything that is going on in the United States, please do not rely on social media, because it's gonna break you. And I feel like social media also exaggerates situations. That's the truth. Filter what you take in and what you don't take in, right? But at some point, your own actions, to be honest, you'll always have to be held accountable, and understand that sometimes the judgment can be harsh, because you feel like you really don't have to be tough, so much tough on me, because of course there are those that really didn't vote for him anyway, and they are also been bundled up all together, and they are taking in all this. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think people should stop telling these people you effed around and you found out? People should stop saying I told you so, all these things. Do you think it's gonna be easy for people to open their arms and just rub and hug and be like, oh, it's all good, we love you? The good thing is you've realized, he was wrong all along. I want you to put your thoughts in the comment section, of course, and please subscribe to the channel if you've not. I will definitely see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie and I love you. Bye.